Okay everyone, this lesson is on the first part of our algebra unit. You have a lot to learn this year. Multiple videos will be showing you multiple topics. This is the first one. The highlights of this video include important vocabulary you need to know, the major differences between equations and expressions, and how to simplify an expression. The two most important words first are the difference between an expression and an equation. An expression doesn't equal anything. It cannot be solved, but it can be simplified. Equations can be solved. You can figure the value of an unknown variable. Look at this example, 3x equals 12. This is an equation because you can solve for the value of the x. Here it equals 4. Look at this. This says 3u plus 9. This is not an equation, it is an expression because we can't solve for the value of u as this is written, but we can simplify it. Other vocabulary you need to know. Here's an equation, 3t plus 7 equals 14. The number that is attached to a letter or a variable are always called coefficients. The letter is the variable. If a number is by itself, or as I say, single, those are the constants. Coefficients and variables usually are married to each other when they're written side by side. There are two main ways to generate an expression. One way is to do it with words, and the other way is to do it with numbers and letters. Look at the first example here. It says the sum of 9 and a number. You can say 9 plus x, or x plus 9. That's because the commutative property says that no matter which way the number and variable are written, you're going to get the same answer. The second question says the sum of 9 and the number y. That is 9 plus y, or y plus 9. 13 says 3 times a number. That is written as 3x. You do not need to put a multiplication symbol between the coefficient and the variable. The next one says 14 decreased by a number p. That is written as 14 minus p because the p is being subtracted away from the 14. 15 says 7 less than a number t. That's t minus 7. 16 says the product of 9 and a number n. That's going to equal 9n. The next one says 32 divided by a number y. In algebra, division questions are written as a fraction, so this is going to say 32 over y. 18 is the product of a number and 6. 6x. The next one is 7 divided by twice a number. That is written as 7 over 2x. And our last one, 3 times the number decreased by 11 equals 3x minus 11. Well, let's look at simplifying expressions. That can be done with combining like terms or using the distributive property. Combining like terms looks like this. Look at these questions that are being written. Okay. Number 1 is 1 minus 8x minus 5x. 2 is negative 3 plus 8x plus 2. 3 is 5 minus 8n minus 4n. The next question is 9 plus 3x plus 1 minus 2x. The last one is 7 plus 6x plus 9x plus 9. The way I'm teaching this in class is to take two colors, yellow and pink, and circle or highlight your positive numbers yellow and your negative numbers red or pink. When you do this, make sure that you include the symbol in front of the coefficient or variable. Now you see all the different ones. Notice that in the first one, 1 minus 8x minus 5x, the negative 8 and the negative 5 are written separately. Now use your knowledge of how to add integers to make this work. This would be 1, and what is negative 8 plus negative 5. Think of those symbols as negatives, not as subtraction. You're going to get 1 minus 13x, or 1 plus a negative 13x. Both of those expressions are equivalent. Let's look at the next question. Negative 3 plus 8x plus 2. 8x can't be simplified, but you can add negative 3 to 2, which leaves you with negative 1. So this can be written as 8x minus 1 or negative 1 plus 8. Do the next 3 questions and then check your answers. The third one is 5 minus 12n, or 5 plus a negative 12n. The next one is 10 plus x, or x plus 10. And then 16 plus 15x, or 15x plus, that should be a 16, I'm sorry about that. And it's too late to fix it, so just understand that 7 plus 9 is 16. So sorry about that mistake right there. That should be a 16. Simplifying using a distributive property is just like you've learned before. All you need to do is know the greatest common factor. Look at 7u plus 14p. The GCF is still 7. If you take the 7 out, you're left with 7 parentheses u plus 2p. Here are more examples. Notice that you can have multiple coefficients, variables, all sorts of stuff. In the first example, 4p plus 16t plus 24u. That greatest common factor is 4. Look at what happens. 4 times p plus 4t plus 6u. The variables don't change. You leave those alone because you can't do anything with them because you don't know what they're equal to. But you can divide the coefficients in front of it. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 16 divided by 4 is 4. 24 divided by 4 is 6. Now, see if your answers match the next ones. In the second example, the GCF is 5. 5 times 4i plus 7m. The next question, which was 6y plus 42r, becomes 6 times the quantity y plus 7r. And in the last question, where the distributive property is working in the opposite direction, it is 12d plus 84m plus 36f. Here are some practice questions. Pause when you are finished, and then you can check your answers at the end. The first one is twice a number less than 4. The product of 10 and a number. 3 times a number divided by 7. And then 4, 5, and 6 deal with the distributive property. 4 times the quantity 2p plus 6t. 5 is 9u plus 18s. 6 is 2p plus 6n plus 22f. Here are your answers for 1 through 6. Number 1 is 4 minus 2x. Number 2 is 10y. Number 3 is 3x divided by 7. 4 is 8p plus 24t. 5 is 9 times the quantity u plus 2s. And 6 is 2 times the quantity p plus 3n plus 11f. Watch this as many times as you need to, and ask any questions in class. Thanks.